What's up, folks? This is Gray here, and today we're going to find out what is in my EDC bag. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up going through everything inside my EDC kit, the bag that goes with me everywhere I go. A lot of folks have been requesting this video, so we're going to be doing this today. We're going to take everything out of this bag and show you what I carry with me at all times in this little EDC kit. And what I hope to get out of this video specifically is to give you guys some ideas or spur some sort of like, hey, you know, that might be a good idea to put in my EDC kit. Maybe you just have an everyday carry small kit, or you just have everyday carry on you, which I will kind of do somewhat of a pocket dump as well as with the bag, because everything is considered everyday carry because it's on my persons. That's why I consider this EDC bag an everyday carry kit. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and dump these things out, go through each individual item. I'm going to apologize in advance. This video probably will go a lot longer than I expect because there's a lot of gear in here. And again, what I hope to kind of get out of this is to kind of spur some ideas in your mind of things that you could add to your EDC kit. Maybe you want to build a smaller kit, larger kit, or whatnot. And believe it or not, folks, this bag here cost me like 25 bucks, and it has stood the test of time. So anyways, I'm going to stop rambling now, and what we're going to do is go ahead and go over to one of the tables, and we'll lay all this stuff out and kind of show you what's inside and why I carry some of the things I do. One question for you guys is I want to know if you guys carry an everyday carry kit. What do you carry in it? And after I do this bag dump, I want to know what your thoughts of things I could possibly remove, things where I could save some weight. I mean, it doesn't weigh much, but I'd like to kind of, you know, pick your brain in regards to the type of gear that you have in your EDC kits, and of course put those down in the comments, and then I can kind of look at them, as well as other viewers will be able to see other suggestions and ideas outside of what I carry in my kit, what you might carry in your kit. All right, so before we disassemble this bag and see what's inside of this everyday carry kit, I'm going to go ahead and do a pocket dump to show you that what I have on my persons outside of just what's in the bag, because some of this will correlate to what's inside this bag here. So let's say most people carry their keys, and as you can see, there's a couple of different things like a seatbelt cutter, a window punch. I have a little EDC flashlight on there, some paracord, an S-hook, and just your standard other keys on there. I think that's going to be about it for that. I do have my Olight Arcfeld that has a bunch of different functions on it. You guys have seen the review on that, so I carry that as well. This is the blade that I carry, which is a pretty decent sized blade, as you can see there. This is the Colosso by Amare. It's a decent blade, has a nice spine on it. Feels good in the hand. I'm a big guy, so I like big things that fit well, that I can use. And as you can see, the blade has gotten plenty of use doing the things, if you know what I mean. All right, so that's kind of what's in my pocket outside of my firearm, which is a Hellcat 9mm, as you can see there. I carry this. It's very subcompact. I like this. Some people like the full-size firearms in regards to what they carry on their persons. This is easily concealable, and here in the state of Florida, we have a constitutional carry so that we can carry these as long as you have valid identification or your concealed weapons permit. Again, it's a nice firearm. It fits good in the holster, and I think the holster that I have is a We the People holster as well. Definitely nice sights on it, but definitely this is my favorite kind of everyday carry firearm currently. All right, so now let's kind of go over the bag itself. Again, in the intro, I kind of told you this bag is an Amazon bag that has done me a lot of justice. 25 bucks for this small carry shoulder strap kind of like bag that I have here. I have it folded right now, but basically I kind of wanted to go over what I have on the side of the bag. I have a backup flashlight. This is another Arcfeld here, as well as a CAT, a North American Rescue Tourniquet. This is that tourniquet holder that I had purchased on Army Navy Outdoors. And it fits good on this bag. I also have a couple S-hooks floating around on this bag. And let's go to the other side. This is a backup knife here that I keep. I guess I really don't need to pull everything out, but it's just an additional knife here. Another full-size knife. Some people may ask if I want to carry something, let's say like a full tang or something like that. But for an everyday carry bag, this works really good. It's spring-loaded and whatnot, and it fits good. This is kind of like a multi-purpose blade here with like a can opener and stuff like that, but I'm not going to pull that one out just because I don't think it's that relevant in regards to just redundancies that I have on the exterior of this bag. We'll move to the back of the bag itself. I'll go ahead and move this out the way. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll put water back here and stuff like that. There's a few other things in here that I have, like one of them old little compass paracord bracelets. And I think that's all back there. Currently outside of some contractor bags. Of course, you can use this for shelter, for ground cover, for collection of water, and a lot of different things. There's some duct tape on here as well. And I keep 8 of these contractor bags tied up towards the back. I think that covers pretty much the exterior of the bag itself, outside of these morale patches and whatnot. All right, so I think what we're gonna do is start out with a small top portion of this bag. Then we'll move to the medium portion of the bag, and then we'll go to the full-size internals of the bag itself. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and open up the small pouch and see what's inside this part of the bag itself. As you can see here, I have a headlamp. This is one of my favorite ones. If you guys have any questions in regards to any of the gear that you see in this video, please put that down in the comments and I will answer them and give you links if you're interested in some of this stuff. But anyways, the reason I like this light, right now it's in safety mode, but it does have a red, green, and blue emitter, as well as a white light and a flood and a spot. It just kind of covers everything that I can possibly think of, and it has replaceable batteries as well. So this is one of my favorite headlamps here. I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side, and then we'll kind of look in here. I have a mechanical pencil, and you'll see why eventually, because you kind of take notes or write things down. I have a neck gaiter in here just because it gets hot. Maybe you need to conceal your identity or whatever it may be. There's lots of uses for neck gaiters. Let's say maybe you carry like a handkerchief or something like that to, filter water and those kind of situations. Move that down to the side. And I think the last thing in here is a spare magazine because, I look at it, there's never enough when you're trying to protect yourself for the ones that you care for in regards to being in that kind of situation. That's going to be the entire contents of this upper portion of this pouch. All right, so let's now move to this secondary external pouch on the bag. Actually, let's go to the front zipper portion of this because I do have a couple of things in here that I'd like to show you guys. This is a beeswax mini candle. Lots of different reasons for this. Good ways to start fire if you need access to fire. And you're probably like, well, how do you start a fire? If it's just a candle, you need a lighter, but we'll get into that, of course. But this is a beeswax candle, and these kind of last for about 6 hours versus some of your other standard tea light candles. And plus, if you use it, you have this tin that you can repurpose for other things like wood ash or char cloth or anything like that you could possibly use this tin for. What else do we got down in here? This is a silk hotkey. A lot of folks are probably familiar with this. This is if you're in a suburban or urban environment and you need access to water. This is kind of the key to the city in regards to accessing those faucets that are on the external side of buildings so that you have access to them. This kind of key fits most of those options there. Nice to have one of these, especially if you're in an urban or suburban environment. Also in this bag I have 2 lighters. This one is kind of a high vis. This is a green, but still has some decent visibility to it in case I drop it or whatnot. They're both crickets. They're both refillable, so that's kind of why I like them. You guys have seen in other fire kits I do carry Bics. Again, the whole scenario with this is 1 is none and 2 is 1. So I like to carry redundancies in regards to fire starting. And of course, you want the easiest possible way if you need to make fire to boil water, cook food, and things of that nature. All right, so let's go ahead and move into the other external pouch, the full-size pouch. And this is going to be a lot of medical gear that's going to be inside here. So I'm going to go ahead and peel this back so that you guys can kind of see what's in here. I have some compressed gauze by North American Rescue. What else do we got in here? We got a couple pairs of gloves on the outside of this. I don't think I really need to take those out. See if I can fold this down so that you guys can see that. I have additional pouches in case I want to add other things on here. This is what they call a soft T tourniquet. So outside of just a cat tourniquet, I have a soft T tourniquet as well. These work really great on smaller patients versus using this on like full-size adults. So having, like I said, redundancies in regards to medical gear to me is truly important. So let's kind of pull that out. We have a trauma dressing, hemostatic control bandage for stopping the bleed. Very important. There's some sort of deep lacerations and stuff like that. You want to apply pressure. This is also a pressure bandage with the hemostatic agent built into it. Outside of that, what do we got here? I think these are Madison Supply scissors. You can't go wrong with either of these. A lot of medical professionals will use these kind of scissors / shears in regards to removing clothing and articles of clothing like that. They're very sharp. Or you can grab yourself some North American Rescue ones. Either way, you can't go wrong with either one of those brands. Let's dig further into this. Let's pull out what this back page here, or this back section here is. This is a clotting gauze, another hemostatic quick clot. It's not the combat gauze, but it's very similar to that. More of the civilian version of that kind of gauze there. But I have some of that stuck in there as well. I have a dual pack of the Halo chest seals here. Some people prefer Halos versus the high fins. I have a variety of them depending on where I'm building and what I'm building, but the Halos also work great. I think Bear Independent also discussed the Halo chest wall seals as well in regards to how well they are doing well in heat. I also have, of course, your Mylar blanket. Of course, this is in case someone's going into shock. If you need a reflective material to signal for help, there's a lot of different things for shelter and other things that you can do with this. But I keep it in the med side of the things just for purposes of, you know, shock and treatment like that, hypothermia, and those issues. I want to see if there's anything else in here. Yep, we still got some more stuff. I got some more compressed gauze. Can't speak. The heat is getting to my brain, folks. And I think I want to say that's all that's in this impromptu medical kit. Now remember, in my vehicle, I have a full med kit, several of them. I have individual first aid kits. I have a full-size jump bag and a bunch of other stuff like that. This is just what I carry with me on my person. So let's say if I'm walking through Walmart or something like that happens, and there's, you know, let's say that you're engaging into a situation where there's an active shooter situation and someone that you love or care for, you need to do something about that because they've been hit by a round or something like that. This is some of the gear that you would use to save that person's life. All right, folks, let's see what kind of goodies are in here in the main compartment of the bag. First, we'll start here in the internal small compartment. There's just a bunch of different things in here. This works good. I mean, people with dentures use this, but this also works good for other things, is why I carry it. As you can see, it's been used. Some Visine. What else do we got in here? Some nail clippers. Let's move all this to the side as I'm going over it. This is kind of like a pink Himalayan inhaler. Basically, if you're feeling a bit stuffy or whatnot, you can use something like that. I like it, kind of like the Vicks menthol inhalers as well. I got some hard candy in here, some butterscotch, as well as a Jolly Rancher. If you need that little boost of energy, keep those in there. They keep well in heat, so that's kind of why I keep some of those in there. Now let's talk hydration. I got a couple of different things in here, and some of the things I've thought about changing, but let's kind of talk about it. A lot of folks are familiar with Liquid IV. This is the Walgreens iteration of Liquid IV, the triple hydration electrolyte drink mix that you would add to water that you're purifying, because when you purify water, you're taking out the bad stuff, but also the good stuff, and then some of this Propel. Now, I'm not a big proponent of Propel anymore just because it has an ingredient in there that will spike your blood sugar very, very, very high. So if you're a diabetic, you might want to stay away from this and look for some better options like this. But I do keep them in there just because if it's an emergency situation, it's better to have something than nothing. Another thing that I like to use for hydration also is having this little aspect of what they call Redmond salt. Redmond salt is a great product. I'm going to kind of hold that there for you. See how small the container is? It has a lot of nutrients in there. You can add this to water. Some people say, well, it's salt water, Gray. And I'm like, yeah, but if you look into the nutrient density in there, just a little bit of this can kind of go a long way. Or maybe you're out there in the woods or whatnot, and you're trying to find something to spice it up with, and you want to salt something outside of just eating some plain fish or squirrel or whatever it may be. This might be an option for you as well. Very compact. I like the little kind of compactness of this. Let's move that to the side. What else do we got in here? So this is a Lansky knife sharpener. Because if you carry blades on you and they go dull while you're using them, of course you want something that has lots of different options. And this one has one for serrated edges. It has, you can use this also for serrations. You have a coarse and fine. This little thing comes in very, very handy in regards to keeping your blades sharp. So let's put that to the side. I think I got a couple other things in here. This is a power pack, a little vitamin C in case you get the sniffles or something like that, but it gives you energy. As well as hydration and immunity. So that kind of goes along with the rest of the hydration kind of, or electrolyte kind of system that we have built in here. And I want to say that's it that's in this pouch here. Well, let's go into the main compartment. All right, let's move on to the big stuff. All right, so a lot of you folks, hygiene is definitely a keen thing. These are called combat wipes, but they're just like dude wipes or any other wipes. Basically, if you know you want to clean yourself up, you're getting dirty, you're in the dirt or doing things, it's always good to have some sort of thing. These are pre-moistened and they work very, very well. Basically, they're great for the outdoors if you're hiking, camping, or like I said, in a pinch. They can come in handy for doing, you know, number twos and stuff like that if you need to use that. I used to use something else, more the compressed version of like the little moist or the towelettes that you add water to and they expand. But since these are pre-moistened in case I don't have access to water at the moment, this comes in handy instead of wasting my water to try to rehydrate one of those tablets. I like these. Of course, you got to have power. So be it if you have a cell phone or any type of small portable electronics, communications, whatever it may be. I've done a review on this product in the past. It does have an additional light on here as well. This has a solar panel built into it. As you break that open, you can kind of see it's 4 panels. And as soon as I open it up, you can see the charging on it right there. Let me flip this around a bit and you can kind of see that the unit stays charged. I haven't charged this unit in who knows how long, but whenever it gets low, I put it on the dash of my vehicle and it charges extremely quickly. So I do like that. The high-vis orange is easy to see, readily accessible. Like I said, it just folds up nice and neat. And I forget the milliamps on this, but it does the job. Maybe you guys can see that there somewhere along there. I think this is like 28,000 or something like that. But it does have a couple of different options in regards to charging for your USBs and Type-Cs on there. So depending on what type of electronics you're trying to keep charged or whatnot. So let's go ahead and move that to the side and move into water filtration. Just because maybe you have access to clean water, maybe you don't. It's always nice to have some sort of water filtration. This is the Sawyer Squeeze. The Sawyer Squeeze is very easy to use. It comes with a plunger to kind of back flush your system once you're done using that, filtering that water from, let's say, some sort of nasty retention pond or creek or river or wherever you're deriving your water at. Anything that's suspicious, you probably want to, you know, kind of filter that water because it's truly important, because without water, after about 3 days, you're pretty much going to die. So just remember that. You might not need food, but you're definitely going to need clean, accessible water to drink and to stay hydrated. But again, like I said, the filter systems are great. They just take also the bad stuff out, but they also take off the good stuff. So sometimes it's nice to have those electrolytes to kind of bounce in there to stay hydrated. It's a better way of staying hydrated by having these electrolytes mixed in with the water that you're filtering. All right, moving on to the next product here. Of course, you guys have seen the review that I've done on this. This is a thermal camera that connects to your phone. So night vision is great. To me, I like thermal, especially for in the night, because you can see things a lot better with the different aspects of using a thermal camera. There's a lot of argument in regards to night vision has its place and thermal has its place, but being that this is so small and compact and lightweight that it's easily to connect to my phone, and I have access to a night kind of vision aspect of regards to thermal imaging, and I can see a lot with just this little portable tiny camera. If you're curious about this, like I said, there's lots of reviews and stuff that I've done and a lot of these different products that I'm showing you today. But if you have any questions in regards to some of the products, just put that down in the comments and I'll answer them to the best of my ability, or provide you links with either a video or where you can purchase stuff like this at. Moving from there, you guys are going to think this is ironic. So I used a Gerber pouch because I had one laying around, but this is my OHT Leatherman multi-tool. Multi-tools are a must in everyone's EDC, be it if you carry it on your persons or carry it in your bag. I love this version because this can be used one-handed. Being that if your other hand is injured, you have access to drop this and use this as a one-handed operation. To do that, it has the wire cutters, the snips on there. Has a lot of different things on here that you can use. You can see I can kind of move everything with one hand. No matter what I'm doing. Of course, I'm doing this kind of on camera here, but you can kind of see the knife is extremely sharp on this as well. So of course now we have 3 blades that we have access to, as well as a saw and a bunch of other things on this thing. A driver, another kind of gut hook as I call it, or a flathead, seatbelt cutter, and the list goes on. I'm not going to go over too deep on this, but I just thought you guys would think it's funny that I have a Leatherman inside a Gerber pouch. Just something that I had laying around and it stuck well, so I kept it in the bag. Let's move down here. I have a pair of gloves just because you never know what you're going to be getting yourself into, and protecting your hands. You don't want to get any cuts or small cuts that can get infected. So having a decent pair of gloves. The mechanics make a nice affordable gloves. I keep a lot of these in all my packs. They're very comfortable, they're breathable. So when I'm out there doing things, these come in super handy and it protects the hands. Let's move from the hands to the feet. Having an additional pair of socks. And yes, you're going to think this is crazy. This is merino wool. And I do use these in Florida. Just remember the moisture wicking capabilities of merino wool and why you would wear these. They're super comfortable for the feet. And when you're camping at night, you want to kind of take those socks off that you've been hiking, let's say 15, 20, 30 miles that you've been hiking. Your feet are going to be saturated with sweat and all that stuff like that, depending on the socks you have. And it'd be nice to put these on, some fresh socks while the other ones are drying. So having an additional pair of socks in your bag is truly important, because your feet, without your feet, you're not going to go from point A to point B. You're not going anywhere. So you want to protect your feet at all costs, especially getting blisters and stuff like that can just kind of do a really bad situation to your feet. So protect your feet, folks. All right, moving down further into this bag, as you can see, this is probably the last thing in the center section. This carries ibuprofen as well as antacids. If you have any type of stomach issues, or let's say you're eating stuff that you probably shouldn't eat, that might give you indigestion. And again, there's also ibuprofen in there in case you get a headache or need some sort of anti-inflammatory medication. That's an option here. Plus, this bottle's reusable if you happen to run through all that, but that's what's in there. I do want to show you guys one thing, a couple other things that I have in here. This is another backup power supply that connects to the phone. I forget how many milliamps this is. You can probably see it on there if I zoom up with it. This is used as the mag kind of thing that most iPhones use, but you can also use them for Android applications in regards to having the Android case that this fits with, which I do. And again, it does have some alternates in case you need to charge other devices. If you don't want to add this to the back of your phone, you can use this via Type-C or regular USB-A as well on there. It's just a redundancy outside of the brick that I already have, but that's in there as well. And this thing here, folks, if you take anything away from this video, this is probably one of the most important things that I carry in here. It's by Canna Provisions. It's a personal water decon kit, and it has 10 purification tablets, 6 anti-diarrheal tablets, 4 compressed towelettes, individual packets, 4 rubber bands, 4 alcohol wipes, 4 waterproof bandages, 2 triple antibiotic ointments, individual packets, and 2 safety pins. This is an all-in-one kit. And like I said, some of the most important things is that water purification aspect of it and anti-diarrheal. There's just a lot of good stuff in this kit, and all you do is tear it and you have access to this. I have one of these in every single one of the bags that I carry, be it a get home bag, bug out bag, EDC bag, in my glove compartment. I keep these everywhere just because you never know how important this is, because let's say for some reason this is all you have, at least you have purification tablets, and you can always take off your shirt and filter out some of the debris out of water that you're trying to purify. So if you ever take anything in here, you can kind of scan that thing if you want to, but just look up Canna Provisions. And again, if you're looking for any links, I can put those down below if you're curious about products like this. All right, digging further into the bag in this back section here, these are SOS bars. You guys seen me, I did a recent review on these products and why I like them, because they can withstand high temperatures and a lot of other things. Of course, I separated it from the Mylar packaging, and then I resealed it inside this vacuum sealed bag, dated it on there, and this is how long it's been in here. They have a 5-year shelf life, but the good thing about this is that you can see how thin that is and how it fits in the pack very nicely, and it does give you some additional carbs and nutrition as you're trying to get through let's say some sort of emergency situation. Again, to me that fits perfectly. It's labeled, it's dated, and it sits back there nice and neat. All right, moving further deeper into the bag, what else do we got in here? This is a Write in the Rain book. I'm not going to show you the first few pages because I have personal information in there in regards to areas and mapping that I've done. But these Write in the Rain books come in very handy. We can see there, these are great. Super utilization, especially in wet weather environments or hot and humid environments like here in Florida. It's always raining, it's always wet, there's always just some sort of moisture in the air, and using these kind of correlates to that kind of mechanical pencil that I showed you. I should probably add a regular pencil in there. I do have a few Write in the Rain pens as well. For some reason it's not in this bag. Maybe I'll add that here after kind of going through this bag and seeing some of the things that I might be missing. But anyways, that's that there. Let's dig a little further deep down here. Of course, if you have a small electronics, you're going to need cords. So I have the things for the O-lights, the magnetic clips that are USB-A. I have some Type-Cs. I even have some micro USBs, just because you never know what kind of cords you might need. Having extra cords on hand to get your stuff charged and keep them charged is also going to be an accessory or an actual thing that you're going to need in order to have in your EDC kit, is having all the cords that pertain to any type of equipment that you're trying to charge is going to be inside your bag or in your vehicle or on your persons. So having all that kind of readily accessible in a small Ziploc bag like this just kind of keeps it all together versus all bouncing around in a bunch of other little spots in the bag. So that's that. Let me see if there's anything else down in here. Almost forgot one thing as I was kind of laying out everything that I had in the bag. This was in a spot that I didn't find, that was kind of hidden behind one of these pouches back here. But this is a ferrocerium rod inside this kit, as well as a bellows and a striker for the ferrocerium rod. I'm kind of hand holding this, so my apologies about the quality of what I'm showing you here, but I wanted to make sure that I showed you everything. Again, this is just another way to start fire, to boil water, to cook food, to keep warm, or just to have some ambient light to kind of relax by in an emergency situation. Yep, that's everything. Want to make sure I touched everything in the back. There's the bag, and she's all empty. What do you guys think? What would you subtract? What would you add? What do you think about all the gear that's in this little tiny compact shoulder strap bag? Of course, sometimes they call them man purses, whatever you want to call it, whatever works for you. This thing, it's lightweight, it's with me everywhere I go, and I think it has enough contents inside of it to sustain me in a small situation, maybe even longer, up to 72 hours or whatnot, outside of using a get-home bag or other kits that I might have packed in my vehicle or at home. But it's nice to have something like this on the go everywhere I go, because you just never know what's going to happen. All right, folks, so that is going to complete this EDC bag dump. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you got any value out of this video, of course, hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new here, take the time to subscribe and check out the rest of the channel. Can't wait to read your comments, honestly, just because I've been looking at different ideas and possibilities in regards to kind of restructuring this kit, since it's kind of been somewhat the same for quite some time outside of the tourniquet that I added just recently, just because I got that tourniquet holder from Army Navy Outdoors, and it just fits perfectly on this kit. Outside of that, folks, remember, you are not alone. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys in a rebound. God bless every single one of you amazing people out there. And again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video.